Unfortunately missed out on the rally tickets to see for myself.
Yeah, blacks love me because I'm honest.
Blacks love me.
Yeah.
It's the fact that you keep saying blacks.
I love them too.
Right?
Blacks.
All right, guys. So Fresh and Fit did a controversial podcast. I think that it's safe to say that most of their podcasts, their episodes are pretty controversial. Okay, they do that because controversy equals more views. Okay, which ultimately equals more money, right? That is why they're being controversial. So they decided to have Nick Fuentes on the podcast, okay? And Nick Fuentes is, somebody that the liberal media has alleged is a white supremacist, okay? He's a white supremacist, he's a racist. Just Pearly Things, got in a whole lot of trouble for hosting Nick Fuentes on her podcast because, again, this guy apparently is public enemy number one for black people. However, in this interview with Fresh and Fit, he's on the panel with a bunch of black women, and the black women basically give Nick Fuentes an N-word pass to drop the N-bomb on the show live. And this video has not went viral yet, but I already know there's going to be a ton of think pieces about Fresh and Fit and these black women allowing Nick Fuentes to come on the platform and to drop the N-bomb. So I'm going to go ahead and get ahead of it, right? Because the outrage is fake, right? I'm going to go ahead and tell you that right now. So without further ado, let's go ahead and roll this footage of Nick Fuentes dropping the N-bomb on Fresh and Fit. Take a look.
Unfortunately missed out on the rally tickets to see for myself.
Yeah, blacks love me because I'm honest.
Blacks love me.
Yeah.
It's the fact that you keep saying blacks.
I love them too.
Right?
Blacks.
I love them.
No, we don't believe you, bro.
How should you refer to y'all? How should you refer to blacks then? How should you refer to
You don't want to hear my second choice.
Oh, yeah.
I wanna hear it.
I'm kidding. It's a joke.
He's funny. You should actually do stand up sometime. Maybe it would
Yeah,
actually
maybe. Maybe.
I think she's joking.
Okay.
No.
I hope so.
Do it, Nick. Do it.
No, I can't.
How fitting in
That would be
him.
polite.
Do it, Nick, so you can get banned again.
I can't get these guys
We're on Rumble. You can say it.
Say it. Come on, man. I want you to say
Say
it.
it for real.
no.
I want to hear it. What you got?
You want me to say it?
Yes. Say it.
Is anyone going to hit me if I say it?
No. Let's go. We've been on for 2 hours.
touch him? No.
Come on, Nick. What you got?
All right.
Oh, yeah. Ban them now.
It's okay.
I'm not saying that.
Yo, it is amazing to me how a word can get everybody so mad, bro. Wait, hold on. Yo, we asked for it.
We didn't ask for it. You guys asked for it.
I definitely want to know what. I definitely want to know what's on your top because you gonna definitely know what's on mine.
Yeah, so you seen that, you heard that. Now, like I told you guys, there are going to be a lot of think pieces that are going to come out about this, especially from the, pro-black community, right? They're going to have a lot to say about this. And the reason why is because Fresh and Fit have a largely black audience, right? Just Pearly Things has a largely black audience, and they are dominating their spaces, right? Over people who've been in this space for a long time, okay? And with Fresh and Fit not being actual black Americans, there's a lot of people that take issue with the fact they have a largely black audience and they're not black. And they're also saying and doing things like this, okay? That is what Fresh and Fit have been doing. They've been really pushing the envelope in regards to censorship or the, ability to, say whatever they want to say on their podcast, which in my opinion, okay, I mean, they've taken it very far, but I do respect the cause, right? Because I think that free speech is important, right? So with that being said, again, there's going to be a lot of fake outrage about Nick Fuentes saying the N-word. in which he was told by the black women on the podcast, surrounded by black women. Also, by the way, Nick Fuentes, allegedly a white supremacist, right? Allegedly hates black people, deplorable person, right? But lately, it seems like Nick Fuentes has been hanging around a lot of black folks, right? I'm not sure how many white supremacists want to hang around black people. Okay, I think I've seen Nick Fuentes more black people than white people at this point, right? I'm just saying. I wouldn't be surprised if he ended up clapping some cheeks after the show, or at the very least attempting to do so, okay? Because he seems to me, he might be interested in black women. I don't know, okay? I'm just joking. But with that being said, again, you have a bunch of black women on the show. They're allowing Nick Fuentes to say the N-word. They tell him, say it, say it, say it. And then he says it, okay? And then when he said it, you know, if you listen to the uncensored version, it doesn't even sound like the guy actually says the N-word, right? It's the most kind of awkward N-word I've ever heard, okay? From a guy who's allegedly a white supremacist, a racist, he must use it all the time, right? He didn't really sound like he used it all the time, okay? He just sounded like, oh, I'm being forced to say this word, and because allegedly I'm supposed to be a white supremacist, I need to say it, right? Free speech, whatever, right? So he says it. He doesn't say it just once, he says it twice. The first time he said it, it was the hard ER. The second time he said it, it was with the A, okay? And then, you know, in between you had, you know, black women also saying the N-word as well too, okay? You know, there was all types of N-words and you know, all types of stuff being thrown around, okay, during this conversation. So, again, with that being said, people are going to be upset about this, but before people get upset about this, I just want to say this. Where were all these people when Myron and Fresh have been using the N-word, okay, since the beginning of the show? Because the fact that there's going to be outrage and people going to be mad about Nick Fuentes saying the N-word is going to tell you exactly what the N-word is all about, or put it this way, the censorship of the N-word in regards to who can say it and who can't say it. Just think about it. Myron is Arab, right? He's an Arab, okay? He's from Africa. He's from like Sudan or something like that, okay? So he's like a dark-skinned Arab. He's not black, right? He ain't black, okay? And I'm a black American, okay? Some people think I'm African because I have the wrong opinions, but I'm black, right? I'm black. Fresh is from like, what, Haiti or something, Barbados, okay? I mean, I guess maybe you could count him as black. Who knows? I mean, if you want to extend it to anybody that can say the N-word, is, you know, their, you know, ancestor was, you know, a slave over here in the New World or whatever. If you want to, you know, define it as that, then maybe Fresh has an N-word pass. But again, that's still debatable, right? So again, these people have been saying the N-word. Myron has been saying the N-word since the beginning of the podcast. He's not black, and people aren't mad about it. Right? Nobody ever took issue with Myron saying the N-word. So Nick Fuentes, who's white, comes on the podcast and says the N-word, and people have an issue with it. That tells you exactly what the N-word is all about. It's about keeping white people from saying it. Right? It's not just something for black folks, because there's people of so many different races that use that word. Okay? I've heard Asians use that word. I've heard Arabs use the word. I've heard Africans use the word. I've heard Latinos use the word. I've heard whites use the word. I've heard everybody use the word, okay? And it's like the outrage over this word is so ridiculous considering how ingrained the word is in pop culture. I mean, Nick Fuentes used the word on the podcast and not one of those black women died, right? They didn't die. Okay, they didn't get hurt, right? Their feelings wasn't even that hurt. It was fake outrage because they told him to say it. They're just surprised he actually said it, okay? Nothing happened, okay? They're going to live the rest of their lives. They're going to be fine, okay? So what's the big deal, right? I'm just saying, what is there to be outraged over? Because, again, you allowed the Arab man to say it, right? And nobody complained about it, but you're mad because the white man went on the podcast and said it. I'm just saying. Look, and this is my stance on the N-word. Either everybody can say it or nobody can say it. If the word is so bad, then nobody should be able to say it. That's the most consistent thing, okay? Because if you want that word to be so bad, okay, that nobody can say it, that means literally nobody can say it, right? Including black folks. But the fact is that the N word, in regards to enforcement, language enforcement, is selective. It's 100% selective. All these other races are allowed to get away with it. They can just say it. Sometimes there's pushback. Sometimes some people get in trouble for it, you know. But for the most part, there's not as much enforcement against non-white people, right? When it comes to being able to say the N-word. But if a white person says, oh man, it's the end of the world, right? I'm about to boo-hoo whine and cry about it. It's ridiculous. So again, you know, I'm not endorsing Nick Fuentes saying the N-word. I'm just saying the fact that he can say that and that panel, I mean, like, are they hurt? Right? Anything happened to them? Like, if you could just keep moving with your life, takes all the power out of the word altogether, right? Like, the word at that point is powerless. When you allow a word to make you upset, then that word is controlling you, right? That word has power over you. And you shouldn't allow people to influence your emotions or how you act or behave based off words, okay? Because that means that person has influence over you. And I think that's something that people got to understand about the N-word. And my argument towards it is that, you know, at the end of the day, I just feel like in order to defeat the N-word, the best thing to do is to take the power out of it, right? And I think that the selective enforcement on who can say it and who can't say it just makes the word a lot more powerful and hurtful than it actually really needs to be, okay? Because at the end of the day, I mean, it is just a word. It is just a word. So, hey, you know, let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.